we are on day 2. Remember I told you in the first video that it's going to be a 2-day event. Day 1 is all about the prep. I can't stress that enough. Preparation is key when you are doing something like this, because if you screw up the prep work, then it's going to be all in vain. So what we have left to do is, after we've sanded, we need to go in and blow out all the debris and the rough grit that's in there, tape everything off, and then we can start the trim work with the 2-inch brushes. After the trim work, we can go ahead and start the first coat roll-on, and according to the manual, it should take about 1.5 hours to dry, and then you can apply the second coat. So let's go ahead and start with the blowing out of the Jeep tub, and we'll go from there.
So we just finished taping off the Jeep. Our next step is going to be to prep the liner. We'll have to stir it for 5 to 10 minutes to break up the sediments in the bottom. After that, we'll be ready to roll and use the touch-up brushes to get the close spots around the interior. So let's head on over and do that.
Now we've reached that famous part of the install video, the application session. So, as always, when you're doing something of this magnitude, you're going to want to make sure you have that personal protective equipment. So, safety glasses, mask, gloves. You definitely don't want to get this stuff on your skin because it is hard to get off once it dries. So the plan is we're going to take the 2-inch touch-up brush and we're going to just go in and get the corners and the seams, the hard to reach places where the roller won't get. So what you want to do, now that we've mixed up our rhino liner, is you want to dab it in. Make sure there's no drippage. And we're going to take it, and it recommends just dabbing. So don't brush it on, just dab. Just like this. And you're going to want to take your time with this because you definitely don't want to mess it up because this stuff is permanent. So now we've got the first coat on, and I think it looks pretty good. We're going to let it cure for about an hour and a half, come back and see if it's still kind of tacky, and if it is, we're going to let it dry a little bit more. When we're applying the second coat, we're not going to have to put it on as liberally because we did get a good first base coat down, which is cool. And also, when you're doing the second coat, before it has had time to cure, you're going to want to pull that tape off, but pull it off really slowly. But I'm really satisfied with how it's turned out so far. Looks really great, and it's just going to improve the durability of the Jeep. So let's give it about an hour and a half, and we'll come back and see what we got. Well, we've reached the end of the installation, and I gotta say, I think it turned out pretty well. I'm really satisfied with this. Total amount of time that I've got put in on it is 2 days with the prep and the final application, and total dollar amount that I've got put in with everything, I'd say less than 90 bucks. So you can do this yourself right in your driveway. I did it, and I have no mechanical experience or body work experience at all. So I mean, yeah, I think it turned out great, and we'll show you some after shots when we get the seats put back in, and I'll give you a review in a couple weeks and let you know how everything's holding up.